And of course, for Kamala Harris, the political journey has changed overnight. Since then, all indicators and stars appear to be aligning for the 59-year-old Democrat. As far as the presidential bid goes, Harris has secured a clear backing from Democrats as she surpassed the criteria of the number of delegates needed to claim nomination. According to an Associated Press tally, 2,214 delegates have backed the vice president so far. The number is not final since the party is yet to formally choose its presidential candidate.
So in the next 106 days, we have work to do. We have doors to knock on. We have people to talk to. We have phone calls to make. And we have an election to win. So, are you ready to get to work? Do we believe in freedom? Do we believe in opportunity? Do we believe in the promise of America? And are we willing to fight for it? And when we fight, we fight. God bless you all, and God bless the United States of America and Joe Biden.
But even before the official nomination, Harris's campaign, which is still operating from its joebiden.com domain, has unveiled a new logo, which features Harris for president. Now, in the first 24 hours since Joe Biden endorsed his number 2 for president, Harris's name has raised a record amount of money already. According to campaign spokesperson Kevin Munoz, the vice president has raked in a whopping $81 million. The election war chest boasts of being the largest 24-hour sum reported by either side in the 2024 campaign so far. Now, Harris's campaign also said it was the largest single-day total in the U.S. history. The unanimous support for Harris has all but officially secured her presidential candidacy, from being Joe Biden's running mate in 2020 to now being well on the path to pick her own number 2. That has been Kamala Harris's journey. And the question now on everyone's minds is this: who will be Kamala Harris's vice president nominee? Now, as the path clears for Harris's presidential bid, many contenders are falling in line to be her running mates. Several names are doing the rounds as probable vice president candidates: Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, California Governor Gavin Newsom, Andy Beshear, who is the governor of Kentucky, and Pete Buttigieg. The U.S. Secretary of Transportation are some names on top of the list for running mate. Several other names that are potential candidates under consideration include Roy Cooper, governor of North Carolina, the Maryland Governor Wes Moore, billionaire and Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, and Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Now, for more on this, we are now joined by Jeffrey Cabaservice. Jeffrey is the Vice President of the Political Studies at the Niskanen Center. He has also authored several books, and he is now joining us live from Virginia. Welcome to the show, Jeffrey.
Hello, it's good to be with you.
Very good to have you with us on the show. Now, of course, there are several senators and governors backing Harris and, of course, wanting to be her running mate. What do you think will be the criteria when Harris makes this very, very crucial decision and choice?
So historically, the presidential campaigns have wanted to choose a vice presidential nominee who will balance the ticket. And although there has been some speculation among activists that someone like Michelle Obama or Hillary Clinton could be named to the ticket, that seems extremely unlikely. Even candidates like Gretchen Whitmer, who are popular candidates from states that the Democrats must win, would be unlikely, given that putting 2 women on the same ticket would probably not do the political job. So therefore, the people who are being talked about most seriously are people who would balance the Kamala Harris's status as a perceived progressive in the Democratic Party, as well as being a woman of color. So most of these candidates that people are talking about are white men who are from states that are under contention, swing states mostly. And therefore, I think the likeliest would be some of the governors that you mentioned, including Roy Cooper from North Carolina, including Andy Beshear from Kentucky, including Josh Shapiro from Pennsylvania.
Also, what's on everyone's mind is what is the campaign going to look like for both the sides, for Kamala Harris and, of course, for Donald Trump as well? What is the road ahead from here on?
I'm afraid this is going to be a very ugly campaign. Donald Trump historically has shown his harshest and most personal rhetoric when he is up against female candidates. And I think that will be the same. This is also a deeply divided country, and this election is going to bring that home. In some ways, you actually have in Trump versus Harris two equidistant, equally equipoised candidates. Trump stands for the parts of the country that Harris does not, and vice versa. Their positions, likewise, have very little in common. So I'm afraid it will be a rather harsh campaign. I think we can all be grateful that it will be relatively short.
When you did speak about a harsh campaign, how do you think it will be for Kamala Harris now that she faces Donald Trump?
So Kamala Harris has past experience as a prosecutor. And although it's hard to remember this, she actually was criticized by many progressives for being too harsh on crime. And she downplayed that when she was running for the Democratic nomination in 2020, as well as during her time as vice president. But things have changed. Now that's actually one of her assets. And it's particularly symbolic given that Trump is now a convicted felon and she is a prosecutor. She has already leaned into that contradiction between the two of them, and you can expect to hear a lot of that in the future.
Thank you so much, Jeffrey Cabaservice, for joining us on the broadcast today.
Pleasure to talk to you.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.